Hello there, welcome to Max's Cards and Dice Dugout. This is episode 141, and this time out we are at Candlestick Park for game number 47 of the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Oldtimer Kings King of the Hill tournament, which has the current Kings, the 1962 San Francisco Giants, playing host to the 1965 Minnesota Twins. Before we get to the starting lineup, here's the hill and the status of that hill. And the Giants, having knocked off the 1950 Yankees, find themselves atop. The Twins, they'd like to send those Giants a tumbling, maybe string together a few wins and get back in the thick of things in this tournament. And we have the Brooklyn Dodgers, the 1953 Brooklyn Dodgers on deck, and the 61 Cincinnati Reds in the hole. All right, starting lineups for tonight's game. First, for the visiting 1965 Minnesota Twins, leading off at shortstop, Zoilio Versalles. Batting second, Sandy Valdespino. He is in right field, playing for the injured Jimmy Hall, who will be out one more game. This game and one more. So Valdespino gets the start in right field, and Tony Oliva moves to center. And there is the mentioned Tony Oliva. He's batting third. He's playing center field. Batting fourth, Third baseman Harmon Killebrew. Batting fifth, left fielder Bob Allison. Batting sixth, catcher Earl Batty. Batting seventh, first baseman Don Mincher. Batting eighth, second baseman Jerry Kendall. And on the mound, batting ninth, is Jim Kaat. In 1965, he was 18-11 with a 2.83 ERA, 264 innings pitched. He gets the number 4 pitcher hitting card. Now for the current Kings, 1962 San Francisco Giants. Leading off in left field, Harvey Keene. Batting second at second base, Chuck Hiller. Batting third, Felipe Alou. He's in right field. Batting fourth, center fielder Willie Mays. Batting fifth, first baseman Orlando Cepeda. Batting sixth, third baseman Jim Davenport. In the seventh spot is catcher Tom Haller. Batting eighth, shortstop Jose Pagan. And on the hill and batting ninth is Jack Sanford. In 1962, Sanford was 24-7 with a 3.43 ERA, 265 innings of work. He gets the number 2 pitcher hitting card. Sanford has finished his warm-up tosses. Versalles steps into the batter's box. We get the play ball call, and we are underway. And Versalles lifts this one to left field. Harvey Keene's under that, makes the catch for the first out of the game. One away here in the top of the first. Right fielder Sandy Valdespino. Pitch from Sanford. Here's a fly ball to center field. Willie Mays near the track makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. And we go to Tony Oliva. Playing center field for the Twins today. A little bit of shift in their lineup with Jimmy Hall being out. Here's the pitch. This one's going to stay in the infield. Orlando Cepeda is under that near near the first base bag. Makes the catch. And the Twins go 1-2-3 here in the top of the first. So with a half inning in the books, it's the Twins nothing. And the Giants coming to bat. Jack Sanford gets a fatigue point. Jim Kaat takes the mound. Leading off for the Giants here in the bottom of the first is Harvey Keene. He's in left field. There's the pitch. It's a ground ball to short, but it's an X check. And Versalles is a 2. We roll a 12. Nice play by Versalles. Fires from his knees. Over to Minder for the first out. And there is a 6-3 put out. And there's one away here in the bottom of the first. It's going to bring up second baseman Chuck Hiller. We're scoreless here in the bottom of the first. That's a ground ball to second baseman Kendall over to Minder. for the 4-3 put out, and there are 2 away. It brings up Felipe Alou. Pitch from Kaat. Ground ball right back to Kaat. He's a good defensive pitcher. He fires over to first base. And like the Twins, the Giants go 1-2-3 here in the first. So there's 1 inning in the books. We are scoreless. Jim Kaat gets a fatigue point. Top of the second for the Twins. Leading off will be Harmon Killebrew, third baseman. Pitch from Sanford. It's a ground ball to Jim Davenport at third base, over to Orlando Cepeda. 5-3 put out, 1 away. Left fielder Bob Allison is next. Here's the pitch. That's a 1-out single for Allison, right up the middle. We got our first base runner of the game. He makes the turn. Mays gets the ball in quickly. And Allison holds it first. There's a man on first with 1 out. And catcher Earl Batty. Here's the pitch. And that is a single to right field. Alou gets to that quickly, gets it in. Allison got a good jump, but he's going to have to hold it third. So now the Twins have runners on the corners for Don Mincher. First baseman. It's 1 away. Sanford in a bit of a jam. He delivers the pitch. It's a fly ball to center field. It's an X check. Mays is a 1. This one sends him back. We roll a 5. And Mays makes the catch, and Allison holds at third. He does not tag up. Didn't want to challenge Mays' arm, I guess. So there are 2 outs. Runners on the corners. And second baseman Jerry Kindle. And this is going to score some runs. It is a deep fly ball to left field. Harvey Keene watches this one go over his head. It's way up, out of here, gone. A 3-run, 2-out shot for Jerry Kindle. And the Twins are up 3-0. And you could hear a pin drop here at Candlestick. 3-run shot over the left field fence. That gives Sanford 3 more fatigue points to put him at 4. And the Twins lead 3-0. That got out of here in a hurry. All right. Here's Jim Kaat. And the Twins are not finished because Kaat singles one between third and short. And he's going to hold it first. There's a man on first with 2 outs. Twins lead 3-0. Here in the top of the second, we're back to the top of the order. And Zoilo Versalles, he's 0 for 1. Hey, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. First strikeout for Sanford. But the Twins score 3 runs on Jerry Kindle's blast to left field. And after 1.5, it's the Twins 3 and the Giants nothing. Sanford gets his 5th fatigue point. And there's a little rumbling going on in the Giants bullpen area. All right, bottom of the second, leading off for the Giants is Willie Mays. They trailed the Twins 3-0. Here's the pitch to Mays. He lines it, but right at Harm Killebrew. And there's 1 away. So 1 out, nobody on for Orlando Cepeda. Pitch from Kaat. And the Giants get their first base runner as Cepeda hits one right up the middle. Makes the turn, but he's going to hold it first. So he's at first with 1 out. And third baseman Jim Davenport comes to the plate. Twins lead 3-0. It's a ground ball to shortstop Versailles. He fires to Kendall, over to Minder for the 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. Cepeda's forced at second, and they get Davenport by a half step, and we got 2 innings in the books. Kaat gets his second fatigue point, and after those 2 innings, it's the Twins 2 and the Giants nothing. Jack Sanford back out here for the top of the third. Sandy Valdespino is the first batter. He's 0 for 1. Pitch from Sanford. And that's one down the left field line. Valdespino's going to cruise into second with a standing double to start the third. And there is definitely some activity now in the Giants bullpen. Looks like Bob Bolin is warming up. All right, so a leadoff double from Valdespino. And it's Tony Oliva. He hits a fly ball to right field. Felipe Alou is under that. Makes the catch. Valdespino's going to hold at second. There's 1 away for Harmon Killebrew. Killebrew's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. He pops this one up. It's going to stay in the infield. Hiller's under that. He's calling everyone else off. Makes the catch. And there are 2 away. So 2 outs, man on second for left fielder Bob Allison. Allison singled his first time up and scored on Kindle's home run. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to Jim Davenport. Fires over to Cepeda. 5-3 put out. And that's it for the Twins. So they put a runner in scoring position, but can't get him across. And after 2.5 innings, it's Twins 3 and the Giants nothing. Jack Sanford gets fatigue point number 6. Bob Bolin is ready, if needed, in the bullpen for the Giants. Here we go. Bottom of the third. First batter is going to be Tom Haller. Pitch from Kaat. And he lines that one, but right at Minder. Doug Minder makes the first put out. Unassisted. It's 1 out, nobody on. Jose Pagan. There's the pitch from Kaat. It's a fly ball to center field. That's Tony Oliva. It's an X check. He is a 3, and we roll a 9. And Oliva misjudges that one. Gets past him. And it's scored a double as Pagan cruises into second. So there's a man on second with 1 out. And Jack Sanford. Twins lead 3-0. Sanford swinging away. And it's a ground ball back to Kaat. He looks at Pagan at second, fires over the first for the 1-3 putout. And there are 2 away. Kaat flashes the leather once again. We're back to the top of the order for the Giants, and Harvey Keene, who's 0 for 1. Jose Pagan's on second. There are 2 outs, and the Giants trail the Twins 3-0. Here's the pitch from Kaat. It's a fly ball to deep center field that sends Tony Oliva back to the wall, but he makes the catch there. A long, loud third out. And that's it for the Giants here in the third. So after 3 innings, it's the Twins 3, Giants nothing. Kaat gets his third fatigue point. Jack Sanford, who is at 6, is out here for the top of the 4th. First batter he's going to face is catcher Earl Batty, who singled and scored his first time up. And make that another base hit for Batty. He's 2 for 2. Makes a turn, but he'll hold at first base. And that brings up Don Mincher. He's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. And it's a fly ball to right field. Felipe Alou's under that, makes the catch, and there's one away. That brings up Jerry Kindle. Who hit that blast his last time up over the left field fence. That put us where we are here with the Twins leading 3-0, but here's the pitch. This time he hits a fly ball to left field again, but this one's going to stay in the park. Harvey Keene is under that, makes the catch, and there are 2 away. Batty holds it first. So man on first, 2 outs, and pitcher Jim Kaat, who's 1 for 1. Here's the pitch. This time he hits a ground ball to third baseman Davenport, over to Cepeda for the 3rd out. So nothing from the Twins, or nothing to show from the Twins from Batty's leadoff single. And after 3.5, the Twins still lead 3-0. Jack Sanford gets fatigue point number 7. Kaat, who's at 3, is out here for the bottom of the 4th. Chuck Hiller's going to be the first batter for the Giants. He's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to second base, but it's an X check. Jerry Kindle is a 2. We roll a 7. And Kindle makes a diving stop from his knees, fires over to Minder at first. And there's one away. Felipe Alou is 0 for 1. Pitch from Kaat. And Alou laces this one past Arm Killebrew. But Bob Allison gets it in quickly, and Alou is held up at first base with a 1-out single. So Giants have a man on first with 1 out for Willie Mays. And they're trailing the Twins 3-0. Here's the pitch from Kaat. And a hit-saving play over at first base by Minder. Robs Mays of a hit. He tries to get a tag on Alou, but Alou gets back to the bag safely, and he'll be there at first with 2 outs for Orlando Cepeda. Here's the pitch from Kaat. Catcher's card X. Batty is a 2, and we roll a 7. And that's a little dribbler that stays right in front of the plate. And Batty picks that up, fires to Minder at first, and they get Cepeda by a couple steps. And that's it for the Giants. So after 4 innings, it's the Twins 3 and the Giants nothing. Jim Kaat gets fatigue point number 4. Jack Sanford, who is at 8, is out here for the top of the 5th. It's going to be the top of the order for the Twins. And Zoilo Versalles, shortstop, who's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to third base. Jim Davenport, he is a 1. And we roll a 5. Davenport makes a nice play, and he fires over to Cepeda for the first out. There's 1 out, nobody on. Sandy Valdespino, right fielder. He's 1 for 2, doubled his last time up. Here's the pitch. This time he hits a ground ball back to Jack Sanford. He jogs towards first base, fires underhand to Orlando Cepeda, and there are 2 away. So 2 outs, nobody on. Tony Oliva, who is 0 for 2. Pitch from Sanford. A little bit inside, and that's ball 4. So Oliva trots down to first base. That's going to bring up Harmon Killebrew, who's 0 for 2. Twins third baseman. Pitch from Sanford. It's a fly ball to left field. Harvey Keene. It's an X check. Harvey is a 3. We roll a 17. And Keene makes a diving stop, or a diving catch, I should say, out there. Robs Killebrew of extra bases. And gets a cheer from the Candlestick faithful. That's it for the Twins here in the top of the 5th. So after 4.5, it's the Twins still leading 3-0 over the Giants. Jack Sanford gets his 8th fatigue point. Jim Kaat, who is at 4, is out here for the bottom of the 5th. Jim Davenport is going to be the first batter for the Giants. And Davenport's 0 for 1, hitting 2 double plays. First time up, here's the pitch. Hey, and that's a strikeout. That's Kaat's first strikeout. Excuse me, Kaat. That's 1 away. Sorry about that. I know it's Kaat. Okay, 1 out, nobody on. Tom Haller, catcher. There's the pitch. That's a 1-out single. Haller makes the turn, but he's going to hold there. So there's a man on first with 1 out. And Jose Pagan, who is 1 for 1. He doubled his last time up. Here's the pitch from Kaat. It's a fly ball to left field. That's Bob Allison. It's an X check. He's a 3, and we roll a 3. And he makes a diving catch. Haller rushes back to first base. The throw's late. So Haller is safe at first. They didn't double him up there. But Allison makes a great play, and there are 2 away. So there's 2 outs, a man on first, and Jack Sanford. We're in the 5th inning. Sanford is at 9 fatigue points. Willie McCovey's going to pinch hit for him. And Bob Bolin will be the pitcher for the Giants in the top of the 6th. All right, so Willie McCovey comes to the plate. There's a man on first with 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Jim Kaat. It's a ground ball to third base. It's an X check for Harmon Killebrew, and he's a 4. We roll a 15, and that doesn't sound good. And Killebrew boots it over there. Haller moves up to second. And that's an E5. So now the Giants have runners on first and second. With 2 outs, we're back to the top of the order, and Harvey Keene. See if they can make anything out of that error here. Keene is 0 for 2. Here's the pitch from Kaat. And he lines this one, but it's right at Harm Killebrew, and Harm Killebrew makes up from that error. Makes a hit and run saving play over there, and that's it for the Giants. So we've played 5, and it's still the Twins 3, Giants nothing. Jim Kaat gets his 5th fatigue point. And as mentioned, Jack Sanford is finished for the day, having been pinch hit for. New pitcher is Bob Bolin. In 1962, Bolin was 7-3 with a 3.62 ERA, 92 innings pitched. So let's get Bolin written in here. All right, so Bolin is a number 3 hitting pitcher. So all we'll have to do, we'll have to replace that card in the lineup. For Bolin. All right, here we go. Top of the 6th. Pitch from Bolin to Bob Allison. And that's a strikeout. 1 out. 1 strikeout for Bolin. Catcher Earl Batty. Batty is 2 for 2. Here's the pitch. This time he hits a ground ball to third baseman Jim Davenport over to Cepeda. And they get Batty by a good step. There's 2 away. 2 outs, nobody on for Don Mincher. Mincher is 1 for, excuse me, no. He is 0 for 2, and here's the pitch. It's a ground ball back to Bolin. And he tosses over to Orlando Cepeda. And the Twins go 1, 2, 3 in the 6th. So after 5.5, Twins still lead 3-0. Bolin gets his first fatigue point. Jim Kaat, who is at 5 fatigue points and pitching a shutout so far, and hopefully for the Twins, I didn't jinx him by saying that. He's going to face second baseman Chuck Hiller. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball back to Kaat. It's an X check. He's a 2. The roll of 19 is probably going to tell me to roll again. Yes, it is. So we roll again and get an 8. And Kaat flashes the leather again. Fires over to Minder. Excuse me. And there's 1 away. Felipe Alou is up next. And he's 1 for 2. Pitch from Kaat. Lines this one, but it's right at Harm Killebrew. And after making that error, Killebrew has made 2 great defensive plays, and there are 2 away now. Here in the bottom of the 6th, bring up Willie Mays. Giants need some kind of spark here. Pitch from Kaat. And the inning is still alive because Mays gets a 2-out single. And that one was off the glove of first baseman Minder, but it scored a single, so he's on first with 2 outs for Orlando Cepeda. Cepeda is 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. And a 2-out walk. That's going to move Mays up to second base, so the Giants have runners on first and second with 2 outs. And third baseman Jim Davenport. Here's the pitch. And he lines this one, but Minder makes a great play on that over at first base, and that's going to end the inning. So the Giants leave 2 runners stranded, and after 6 innings of play, it's the Twins 3 and the Giants nothing. Kaat gets his 6th fatigue point. Leading off for the Twins here in the top of the 7th is second baseman Jerry Kendall, who had that 3-run blast responsible for all the runs so far in the game. That was back in the second inning. He's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Bolin. And there's 1 away. Just going to bring up Jim Kaat. Kaat's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch from Bolin. And that's another strikeout. 3rd for Bolin. There are 2 away. Back to the top of the order. Zoilo Versalles. Versalles is 0 for 3. Pitch from Bolin. And he strikes out the side. Picks up strikeout numbers 2, 3, and 4 here in the top of the 7th. And as we stretch them, the Twins still lead 3-0. Bolin will get his 2nd fatigue point. And out for the Kaat is still out for the bottom of the 7th. Tom Howler is the first batter. Giants catcher. He is 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's a strikeout. Last 4 batters have struck out. And that is strikeout number 2 for Kaat. So 1 out, nobody on. Jose Pagan. Pitch to Pagan. He pops this one up. It's going to stay in the infield. Jerry Kindle's under that. Makes the catch. 2 away. Now with the injured to Jimmy Hall and the short bench the Giants have, Bob Bolin's going to bat here. So it's 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch from Kaat. And Bolin lifts a fly ball to Bob Allison in left field. He's under that. Makes the catch. And the Giants go 1, 2, 3 in the 7th. So 7 innings complete. Twins lead 3-0. Kaat gets fatigue point number 7. Bolin back out here. And Sandy Valdespino is going to lead things off for the Twins. Valdespino's 1 for 3. It's a fly ball to right field. It's going to be an X check for Felipe Alou, and he is a 2. I roll an 8. Nice play by Alou out there, and there's 1 away. So 1 out, nobody on for Tony Oliva. Oliva is 0 for 2 with a walk. Here's the pitch. And that's a 1 out single for Oliva. Makes the turn, but he's holding it first. So it's a man on first with 1 out. Harmon Killebrew comes to the plate. Killebrew's 0 for 3. Pitch from Bolin. It's a fly ball to right field. It's an X check. Felipe Alou is a 2, and we roll a 15. So it's a single and an error on the throw. So if there was a batter on second, or excuse me, batter ends up on second, so Killebrew gets a single. Oliva's gonna have to hold up at third. So Killebrew gets a single, but then reaches second on a throwing error, bringing the ball back into the infield, and that was an E9. I believe that is, each team has 1 error now. Okay, so the Twins have runners on second and third with 1 out. And left fielder Bob Allison. Giants are bringing the infield in. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball back to the pitcher. And they get Oliva trying to score. So that's a fielder's choice. So Oliva's the second out. Allison reaches first. Killebrew moves to third. So there's runners on the corners now with 2 outs. Infield's back. And Earl Batty, who is 2 for 3. It's the pitch from Bolin. It's a fly ball to center field. It's the next check for Willie Mays. He's a 1. We roll a 10. And Mays makes a diving catch out there for the third out. So the Twins threaten here in the top of the 8th. Can't get anyone across. And after 7.5, the score remains Twins 3, the Giants nothing. Bolin gets fatigue point number 3. Kaat, who's at 7, is back out here for the bottom of the 8th. And it's the top of the order for the Giants with Harvey Keene, who's 0 for 3. Low and outside, and it's a leadoff walk for Keene. So he's on first, nobody out. Chuck Hiller. Hiller is 0 for 3. Pitch from Kaat. And that's a single. Giants are in business. Runners on first and second. Keene's holding at second with nobody out. And it's going to bring up Felipe Alou, and there is some activity in the Giants, or excuse me, the Twins bullpen. And it's going to be Jim Perry warming up for Minnesota. Kaat's got himself in a bit of a jam here. Runners on first and second, nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. And Felipe Alou, here's the pitch from Kaat. And look out. That's going to score a run. It's a single that gets between Valdespino and Oliva. It's going to move Hiller to third. Keene's going to score. The Giants are on the board, and there's still no one out. So an RBI single for Alou. And that's going to bring up Willie Mays. Score's now 3-1. Kaat gets fatigue point number 8. Infield's staying back. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to second base. The only play for Kindle is to go to first to get Mays, and that allows Hiller to score. So that is a 4-3 putout. RBI. It's now 3-2. And Alou moves up to second. So the only play that Kindle had was at first base. So now it's 3-2. Kaat gets fatigue point number 9. He's staying out here right now. So there's a man on second with 2 outs, and Orlando Cepeda. Twins lead 3-2. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to Versailles at short. He's going to go the short way to Kindle covering, or excuse me, no, he only has one play. And it's going to be the 6-4 putout. 6-3 putout as he fires over to Minder. All right, but the Giants do pick up 2 runs and make this a 1-run game. And after 8 innings, it's the Twins 3 and the Giants 2. Kaat gets fatigue point number 10. Bolin, he's still out here. Don Mincher is going to be the first batter he faces here in the top of the 9th with the Twins leading 3-2. And Mincher is 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to Or excuse me, no, it's not to Kindle. It's Hiller to Cepeda for the 4-3 putout. And there's one away. So one out, nobody on, and Jerry Kindle, who I just mentioned. Kindle is 1 for 3, but that one was a 3-run shot back in the second. Here's the pitch. And he strikes out. Bolin gets strikeout number 5. And there are 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. He's going to bring up Jim Kaat, but he, of course, is not batting, because Jim Perry, or actually, yeah, it's going to be Jim Perry coming out here in the bottom of the 9th. And right now, pinch hitting for Jim Kaat is going to be Rich Rollins, utility infielder. So he's pinch hitting for Jim Kaat. There's 2 outs, nobody on here in the top of the 9th. Bob Bolin is still the pitcher for the Giants. And here's the pitch. He pops this one up. Jim Davenport's under that. Calls off Pagan and makes the catch. And the Twins go 1, 2, 3. Bolin picks up fatigue point number 4. And we're going to the bottom of the 9th, with the Twins leading 3-2. New pitcher for the Twins is going to be Jim Perry. 1965, he was 12-7 with a 2.63 ERA, 168 innings pitched. He's going to try to close this one out for Jim Kaat and the Twins. And the first batter he's going to face is Jim Davenport, who is 0 for 3. Here's the pitch from Perry, and I forgot to write him in. Perry. And Perry. And first batter is Davenport. And what do we got? That's a leadoff single for Jim Davenport. And the tying run is on base. There's a man on first, nobody out. Tom Haller. Haller is 1 for 3. Here's the pitch from Perry. And that's a strikeout. Now there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. That's the first strikeout for Perry. Jose Pagan is the next batter. Man on first. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to second base, but it's an X check. And Jerry Kindle is a 2. We roll 6. And Kindle makes an incredible stop from his knees. Fires over to Versailles, who then fires back to Mincher for the 4-6-3 game-ending double play. And the Giants do not remain on the hill very long. They lose this one to the 1965 Minnesota Twins, 3-2. All right, let's get some numbers for you. The Twins, 3 runs on seven hits. They committed 1 error. The Giants 2 runs on eight hits. They also committed 1 error. Winning pitcher is Jim Kaat. Perry gets the save. And the loss goes to Jack Sanford. So we have a new king of the hill in the 1965 Minnesota Twins, and they will take on the 53 Brooklyn Dodgers. But that'll be at Metropolitan Stadium. And maybe, as I mentioned at the beginning, the Twins can string together a few wins and get right back in the mix of things. They needed to win this one to get that started. That's going to do it for this episode. If you hung out with me tonight, I do appreciate it. And I'll be back again in the near future with another replay video. And until then, take care.